Day 12, welcome back everybody. I'm Prakash Pradhan, your trainer for this entire series. In today's topic, we are going to talk about the library function and the user-defined function. In order to be a good programmer, no matter which high-level programming language that you all are using, but I do suggest you that you need to be familiar with these two functions. That means one is the library function and second one is the user-defined function. So currently we are going to talk about these two functions that's been used most probably and most commonly that we're going to use in a QBASIC programming language. Now let's try to understand what is the meaning of this library function and the user-defined function. Trust me, my dear students, without knowing or without having the proper understanding of this library function along with the user-defined function, you will not be able to write any program in your QBASIC. So that's why in order to support this programming skill, so I have made this video as a day 12. So let's see the meaning of library function and the user-defined function. Now, if you have a look over here, I have divided this screen into two blocks. So first one is about the library function and the second one is about the user-defined function. Now here you need to understand the meaning of both the function precisely, not in assumption. It should be crystal clear in order to be a good programmer. Now let's see the meaning of first library function. Now the meaning of this library function is actually it's a ready-made program. That means whenever you sit to write a program using the QBASIC, this programming language, you come across the library function. So what is this library function? As I already said, these are nothing. These are the ready-made program that manipulates data and returns a value. So if you have still not understood, so let me tell you in the easiest way. You might have seen that whenever you write a program, you use so many string functions. Like for example, right dollar, left dollar, mid dollar. So whenever you make a utilization of this right dollar or left dollar or mid dollar or char or ASC, anything. These are the keywords having the specific meaning. And these keywords are actually nothing, a ready-made program. So these ready-made program are simply meant to say a library function. So this library function has another one name as well that we often call sometime a routine function or sometime we call it built-in function. Example, as I already said, right dollar, left dollar, mid dollar, len. So these all are the function having built-in function. That means they have the specific meaning and they are meant to perform certain specific tasks. So the meaning of those function cannot be modified. Why? Because these functions are predefined in this programming language. So whenever you wanted to make a best utilization of those functions, you can include in your program, you can find the meaning or you can extract the meaning out of that has been predefined, but you cannot modify. For example, if you'd like to print something from the right hand side of your string, I'm going to say that you can easily use the right dollar function. So what is that right dollar? It's a function. So what type of function? That is the library function. So what is the use of this right dollar function? It is used to extract a number of characters from the right hand side of the user supplied string expression. So similarly, we do have many more library functions that we use in our everyday life. So these are the ready-made program that is used to support your programming skill that you can utilize for solving your problem. But we do have another type of function that is given over here as a naming over here. That's a user-defined function. Now you need to understand clearly the difference between this library function and the user-defined function. So as I said, the library function means they are the ready-made program. They are the keywords having the specific meaning that you can utilize in your program, but you cannot modify. And it's not sure that all the library function that you have in your QBASIC is going to satisfy your need. Then that means sometimes you might be willing to have such a ready-made program that can help you to find the simple interest. That is the easiest example I would like to give over here. So in that case, there is no such library function in QBASIC that will help you to find the simple interest. Then what is the use of this library function? Because it didn't satisfy your need. So in that case, you cannot say that library function is useless. Why? Because these are the ready-made program. Those are going to be used most commonly by any programmer in this QBASIC programming language. Now, it has given you the liberty. It has given you such a platform that user can also define a function in QBASIC. So that's why a user-defined function is not already defined in QBASIC. That means these are the functions need to be defined by the user itself. Now, why do we need to define a user-defined function? In order to meet your need. For example, displaying a data, extracting a certain character from the left-hand side, you have a left dollar function. Whereas if you want to find the simple interest, there is no such function as said to find it out the simple interest. You simply write SI and it's going to print the simple interest. No. So in that case, QBASIC provide you with the platform that user can also define their own function. So a user has to define a user-defined function in order to use in a program. That means apart from the function that's been provided with the QBASIC, user can also define their own function. Of course, in the days to come, we are going to use it and we are going to see everything it's been done in the practical basis also. Now, it is used to perform some specific tasks. As I said that if you would like to, design, or if you would like to formulate certain type of your formula, if you would like to write certain type of formula that need to process certain data. So in that case, you will have to define your own function. Now, for what? In order to perform certain specific tasks. Now, which can be performed only by using which cannot be performed by using the library function, but that can be performed only by user-defined function. So that's why both the function you need to be familiar. You should be able to understand the difference between library function and the user-defined function. So once again, if I have to tell you in a shortcut way, library functions are the ready-made program having the specific meaning in your QBASIC programming language. These are built to solve your problem. So if there is any your function that is not able to solve your issue, in that case, QBASIC provide you easy platform where user can define their own function like a library function that is inbuilt in your program. That we have already said that it is also known as a built-in function in QBASIC. So if the built-in function is not sufficient enough to solve your problem, then you can write your own functions. So these functions are going to solve your specific tasks. Now, after you define any kind of function, it has to be called. It has to be called. Okay, now, so in order to make the best utilization of the function, it might be, user-defined, or it might be built-in function, that means declare function, something like that. So in that case, function has to be called. So there are two ways, that means there are two possible ways where user can call those functions. Number one, by using the print statement, and number two, by assigning the return value to a variable. The best example I can give over here, the suitable example I can give over here is the length statement. If you remember, the length statement is used to count the length of the character that's been supplied by the user. So what we do now, we used to, return the value that is been assigned over here with the help of length statement. So simply, once again, there are two ways through which you need to call a function. So is this mandatory to call a function? Of course, yes. If you do not call the function, in that case, you are not going to get any output. So in order to obtain any desired output, might be with the help of, you using your inbuilt function, built-in function, library function, or user-defined function. In order to obtain the desired output, you'll have to make a best utilization of call function. It has to be called. Either you call by using print statement, or you can, simply call it just by assigning the return value to a variable. So these are the certain, requirement that you need to know before you proceed with the proper functioning or the utilization or deploying the function in your QBASIC programming. Now, you need to know that there are many types of functions actually in QBASIC. So right now, we are going to talk about one of the important function in QBASIC. So these are the ready-made program. You might not have seen before, but these all are the name list of your library function. Okay, that means these are the built-in function, I mean to say that. Len, lcase dollar, ucase dollar, left dollar, right dollar, mid dollar, rtrim, ltrim, str dollar, val, chr dollar. These all are the string function. So in the days to come, we all are going to learn each one of these in order to be perfect for writing or for using your built-in function in order to write a better program. So for this session, I would like to wind up just up to here. Now, in the next session, we are going to see how we can write a program using built-in function. That means library function. We are not going to define our own function first. So first, we are going to try to make the best utilization of the function that is already defined by QBASIC program in it. That means the ready-made program. So these were the general concept or certain type of your brief explanation regarding the meaning of your library function and user-defined function that's been used in QBASIC. So in our next series, we are going to see in our next video how this string function can be used in QBASIC to solve your problem. Okay, so if you find it fruitful, please do like and subscribe. Thank you.